All right, we have Abby Myers, Diamond Miller, and head coach Brendan Fries and Lavender Briggs. Coach will start, and then we'll open it up to questions.
Yeah, I mean, just a tremendous win and a solid 40-minute effort against a really, really good team. And, I thought the thing that right now is really separating us is defensively. I thought we set the tone, being able to impact them in the first quarter, but then when you look at forcing them into 24 turnovers. They have so many great players on that team. I thought our defense was what won this game tonight. And sharing the basketball, I thought that was huge. Obviously, I thought our X factor, Diamond and Abby, we know what they're able to do, and they consistently show that every single night. But the X factor was Lav here with just big moments, big shots, having the confidence to step up, and just a really tremendous team win.
And returning for questions, we'll go to Dylan here first.
Hey, Coach, Lavender's 3 with 4:24 left in the game. You're smiling right now. How, walking through, what you were feeling in that moment. Then Lav, same for you. Like, what were you feeling in that moment too? I know the season's been, up and down for you. We talked about that, and just to feel that one go in. It seemed like the explanation point of a pretty good day for you guys.
Yeah, well, no lead is safe, especially in conference play, and especially against a great team like Michigan. And they were kind of inching their way in. Obviously, after we lost Diamond, those possessions were really critical, and that 3 kind of allowed you to take a breath. But that's a byproduct of all the work that Lav's put in, and just staying true to herself, staying knowing that it was going to happen. I said to myself the other night when I watched Scalia from Indiana have the moment that she had, that Lav was due, and I'm glad she found it tonight for us. And this is who she is. This is what she's capable of doing every single night for us. Oh, do you want Lav?
Well, I was open. My teammates were feeding me the ball tonight, and I just felt good, so I let it go.
Felt confident in yourself today?
Yeah, no, I felt real confident. We'll go to Jade Long in the second row.
Hey, Brenda, your 10th game where you forced at least 20 turnovers and 4th in a row. So how much of a point of emphasis has that been for you to kind of have active hands and kind of get your hands in deflections as many as you can?
Yeah, it's big for us because we are undersized, and obviously rebounding's been taking a hit, so we've got to be able to do it in other ways this year. And just the buy-in when you look at who we are, and the length and the athleticism that we have has really obviously has made a big difference, and just love seeing kind of that trust collectively defensively come together.
We'll go to Wilson.
Hey, Coach, you talked about the points off turnovers that you guys got tonight. Played a big role in this one. You guys turned it over probably a little bit more than you like tonight. What do you think about limiting them to just 5 points off the turnovers you guys had tonight?
Yeah. Every game's going to be different. Yeah, I love when we have a positive assist to turnover ratio, but we were able to combat that with the amount of turnovers that we faced, and not having as many live ball turnovers that they were able to go and execute. Because you see between Leah Brown and Philia, like they are legit, really tremendous players. They're a difficult matchup. So I thought we were able to kind of keep that under control.
This one's for Diamond. I'm sure you're frustrated, about the fouls, but 23 points, 5 steals, like you did contribute in a lot of other ways. Can you just talk a little bit about maybe what was working, and then on the other side, maybe something that you want to clean up?
Yeah, maybe I was a bit too aggressive. I don't really remember yeah, I do remember some of the fouls, but just cleaning up the unnecessary fouls, because some of those fouls were, iffy, but the fouls that I could control, I got to control. And, I was just playing hard, playing for my teammates, and yeah.
We'll go to Sam.
Hey, Coach. I was just wondering, I was looking at the box score, and it felt like Faith had, way better of a stat line than what it ultimately ended up being, but it felt like she, played the most minutes, kept impacting the game in big spots, hit those 2 crucial threes. What did you see from her tonight, and what can you speak about her as a player that even when maybe she doesn't fill up the box score, she's doing it in other ways.
Oh, she's always doing it in other ways, whether it's a screen flashing when somebody gets stuck. It's all those unsung championship plays, and why you see, I mean, the most minutes on the court tonight, and it's not just about her offense; it's just how she plays. But loved that. I mean, the legs are underneath her. The 2 3s she hit were huge for us, and she just battles for us, on the inside, and does anything we need her to do.
Diamond as someone who was with the team last year, how much did the two losses to Michigan stick with you, especially the 1 year of this game, and how much of a motivator was that?
Yeah, it was definitely important to get this one back, especially we all know what happened last year. And we got embarrassed on our home court, and especially at an important day that was. And we just feel like we needed this one back for Coach and her family. So I think this was an important one.
Coach, first quarter, you guys went on that 13-2 run. How did it end that quarter? What were you seeing there that was working, and how important was that?
Yeah, D to O. I thought our defense was able to separate them, and we were able to get out. And again, a lot of different hands that were touching the ball. I thought obviously the aggressiveness started with Diamond as well as the team, just being able to kind of be in that attack mentality. We knew they were going to aggressively hedge us, with a lot of ball screen action, and I thought we just did a phenomenal job being able to handle it.
Coach, you talked about yesterday about how in the end the game was going to be decided by foul trouble, and in those final minutes, it tried to get for like 10 minutes, and then just like 2 minutes of game time. How did that play out, and how did your guys' ability to stay poised on the free throw line help you pull away at the end?
Yeah. You always know, when you come into these, close matchups and competitive teams that we're going to face every night in the Big Ten, being able to step up to the free throw line is huge. And getting our percentage back up, I love the fact, Diamond gets there so often. The 100% that she shot from there was massive. But I thought late game, everyone wanted the ball and wanted to step up and make plays for us.
Abby, after Diamond picked up her 5th foul, Michigan trimmed it down to 6, a little bit more than a minute left. What was the mood among you and your teammates at that time?
Yeah, we got to keep Diamond in the game. She's a scorer. She gets so many great opportunities on the offensive end, whether that's her attacking and taking the whole team's attention and, leaving Lav open on the 3 for a knockdown shot. Yeah, I think when Diamond went out, it was really just let's defend as best we can, because Coach kept saying, like, defense is going to win, and it's going to be on the defensive end. Whatever happens on offense will happen, but we got to limit the fouls, and we got to limit their easy attempts. So, yeah, at the end it pulled through, and glad that Diamond was able to contribute, super efficiently when she was in, and obviously never enjoy seeing people get out because of fouls, but yeah, it happens.
Was that to me? Yeah, we definitely wanted to throw a lot of different looks at them. They don't have a true point guard, although Leah Brown has just been so impressive how she's been able to kind of help them this year through that. So it was important for us to keep them off balance, and with some of the full court stuff, and man being able to switch aggressively, our zone. There were different times when we were in zone. So that us being able to kind of have those different wrinkles we've talked about it is big for us when we're scouting a team.
We'll go to Andrew and then Alex.
Yeah. it's in us, and we showed today we can do that every time we step out on the court. And super proud of this group because it was going to take a 40-minute effort, and to see that growth, again, I mean, so many new pieces, and it does take time within a team, and that trust level has to get there. But they're definitely buying in on both ends of the floor, which allows you to have a chance to be really successful.
For any of the players who want to answer, and Brenda was just kind of talking about you guys putting everything together here, talking about how Lavender's having a good game and Faith is having a good game. How important is it when everybody is coming out and having a great night, and what does that maybe show about the potential of this team, adding on the fact that you guys have won 10 of the last 11?
I mean, it makes it fun, right? When everyone's feeling themselves, we're moving the ball really well in and out. And it's just one of those things where we'll take that night if everyone's feeling it and knocking it down, but we'll also be prepared, right, for the inconsistencies and surprises that basketball gives us. And maybe someone isn't feeling it, or we just gotta stay consistent on defense, and that's something we have to bring consistently every game, whether the offense is rolling or not.
For Abby, real quick. 11 rebounds for you tonight. I'm curious if that's been something you've been trying to work on over the past few games. I know your rebounding numbers have been a little bit higher. I'm curious how much you've been trying to incorporate that into your game a little bit more.
Yeah. I think for me, it's always a mentality: keep things simple, attack the boards, rebound, pass. If shots aren't falling, how can I contribute to the team? And I guess I had a nose for the ball today. Had 11. Hopefully, I'll continue to have a nose for the ball. But I guess I was in the right place at the right time.
Time for like 2 or 3 more in the room because we got to do a couple on Zoom. Go ahead, Ian.
Just for Coach, maybe just I was really surprised to see it was only 12 assists. It seems like you guys were moving the ball really well today. There are a couple.
He already told me about one, so it'll be 13 in a few minutes.
What's that? Okay,
Great.
And there'll be one addition.
Okay. I don't know. In games like that where I don't know, maybe it's like it seemed like the ball movement was really crisp, but maybe it doesn't reflect it in the stats. Can you talk about what that does for your team, the sharing of the ball around?
Yeah, they've done a tremendous job understanding that when we are moving the ball side to side or getting it inside and looking for great shots, it's very easy. It's a game that we do really well. Wasn't perfect tonight, but the intention was there, and we're also great competitors. But that's an area that we love to be able to see because these guys are all so talented that it makes the game a lot easier.
And Sam and then Brandon, and then we'll wrap up inside.
Coach, other teams have talked about how they pay attention to advanced metrics, especially once you get to the end of the season, and margin of victory matters and things among that nature. Is that something that you guys look at all, or is it really just kind of let's get out of here with the win, no matter what the score is? I just wanted to get your thoughts.
Yeah,
on
I
that.
don't. Not at the expense for that. I mean, there's different times. Sometimes when we have a lead, it's to gain confidence in your bench and the depth. And to me, a win is a win, and we're preparing for to get that win, and then for what lies ahead to be able to extend that depth on your team.
We'll wrap up in the room with Brandon.
Lav, this is for you. Your first 3 of the game, that gave you guys the lead. That was the first point someone not named Diamond or Abby scored in the game. Were you thinking about that? And then also, with Diamond and Cheyenne in foul trouble, did you kind of think to yourself, oh, I need to step up?
I wasn't really thinking. I was just trying to play aggressive from the jump. I came in, knocked down my shot, and then I was feeling good coming out of halftime and just tried to stay consistent throughout the game with my aggressiveness, and I was taking the looks that I was getting.
We'll take one on Zoom. Damon, go ahead.
Coach, Diamond picked up her 4th foul on a loose ball. What does that say about her ability to lay her body on the line in a tight game, although she was in foul trouble?
Yeah, loved it. I loved everything about Diamond's game tonight. I thought she played really, really hard. I thought that last foul, it was a tough one because Obviously, we needed her on the court, but she played so hard tonight, and that's who she is, what she's capable of doing every single night. I thought, those 5 steals. I thought her aggressiveness on offense, her ability to allow other people to make plays for others. But that was. I'm okay with that when you're battling like that. And I really thought, she was really aggressive even through those 5 fouls, just for her team tonight.
Thanks, everybody.
Well, Maryland's a great team, and I think it was a great basketball game tonight. I'm kind of bummed that we got down early in the first quarter and felt like we had to battle back. We're able to cut it a number of times, but they had some big-time players that made some big-time plays. And I just think it shows the strength of the Big Ten Conference from top to bottom, stronger than it's ever been before. And I think it was great for people to see 2 great basketball teams in a great game.
24 turnovers. It seemed like the tempo kind of fluctuated throughout the game. Sometimes it was really fast. I think it was just kind of you guys were maybe running too quickly to there. What do you attribute that to?
Their pressure and their length, I think that was really disruptive. And their press just, I think, really wore us down too. And for some of our younger kids that subbed in the game, I think that was probably their first time that they had, faced, other than maybe Ohio State, that kind of pressure and that kind of length.
Hey, Coach, how big was Maddie Nolan's fouls there in the second to limiting your guys' rhythm, it seemed like?
Yeah, I think Maddie last year might have had 7 threes when she played here, and we feel like this is like really a shooter's gym, and I know she was excited for the opportunity to be back here. She's a kid that really never gets in foul trouble, so I think it was a little bit of a surprise to her, but when we had to go to, our bench that early and she was really limited, that obviously hurt her. And then when she fouled out of the game, that really hurt us. She's one of our seniors, experienced players. So not having her on the court hurts for sure.
It seemed like there's a bit of a by committee approach to guarding Diamond Miller today. You had a lot of different players guarding her. What was the game plan going in, and what did you see that you thought didn't work as well as you might have hoped?
She's, like I said, she's a great player. Actually, shout out to my Michigan Daily kids who did the drive here. That's support. Good love. She's a tough matchup, and I think the thing about Maryland, and they play 5 guards, that becomes a difficult matchup. So Emily actually started on her. She's one of the, she's rated as one of the top players in the country and probably one of the highest, draft picks there's going to be this year. So we put our 5-player on her because we start 2 bigs, and then we switched to guard on her later. I just think she was super crafty with the ball. She was able to draw 2 to her at times, and she was able to split us at times and really got to the free throw line. I told our kids just to try to make her finish over you instead of fouling her, because I thought at times we were doing a good job defensively, and then we would bail her out and put her to the free throw line, and she's an exceptional free throw shooter. So, we were able to make a little bit of a run when she was out of the game. I thought that was really important, her picking up fouls as well.
You mentioned the strength of the Big Ten. What do you take away from these last 2 games you guys have played against?
I think it's really important for our kids. It's such a fine line because you don't want to get discouraged. And I know our team hates to lose, but we just had 2 really good opponents back to back, and obviously we lost 2 games, but just the strength of our league, but 2 really great teams. When I left the other night after the Indiana game, and the same will be true about tonight, I'm like, holy cow, like we have some talented players, individual players, but also some really talented teams. And I think, Indiana was kind of expected. They came back with a lot of experience and 2 players that are potential All-Americans. But when I think about like Maryland, they lost a lot of people, and they don't even have a true post player. And Maryland's had post players through the years, and they've always had an inside game. For Brenda to have the team and be doing the things that she's doing with the team that she has this year is really incredible. And I just think that speaks volumes to the coaches in our league as well. For Illinois to be having the season that they are having right now, and they're under the radar because no one expected them, but they've beat a lot of really good teams, and they're a really, really good team. So I just think it just speaks volumes to them. But you can go through our entire league and say that. So the takeaways are we better defend because when you play Maryland or when you play Indiana or when you play Illinois or when you play Iowa, Ohio State, you're going to play a team that has 5 people on the court that could score at any single time. And if you take a breath and you relax, we were up 13-9 with 4 to go in the first quarter, and we lost the first quarter 22-15. So what the heck happened? Boom. They just got hot. They forced some turnovers. They made some shots, and it just swung like that. So, I just think you better lock in, you better play defense, and you better do it for 40 minutes or else you're going to be in trouble.
What did Maryland change defensively at that first media timeout to go on with 13-2 at the end of the quarter?
Well, I think there's a combination of things. I think when they scored, they were able to press a little bit more. When we got stops, they weren't as effective with their pressure. So that's why your defense is so important as well. And they forced turnovers towards the end of that stretch. And then they found open people that made shots. Like I said, we had our 5s and 4s defending their guards at the 3-point line, and we didn't do such a great job of that. And they were open, and they knocked them down. So I think they were like 5 for 8 at half, or maybe that was after the first quarter. I'm not sure.
Hey, Coach Dylan Manfrey at Studio Times. 25 points off turnovers for Maryland today. You talked about the defense of your team, how it needed to improve. I'm curious, in what ways do you think your defense could have specifically improved in the transition game, trying to prevent Maryland from, generating so many points off turnovers?
Yeah, obviously taking care of the ball, but from the defensive perspective, whether it was Diamond Miller, Cheyenne, Abby Myers, they were getting the ball and aggressively just going downhill. And we just needed to be able to build, we say build it, we just needed to be able to build it a little bit sooner to not allow them direct line drives to the basket. And I don't think we closed those gaps. And then when we did, we were called for fouls. And then, Diamond went to the free throw line a bunch of times off of that, as well as Sellers. But I think that's a credit to them. That's the kind of players that they are, and that's the ability that they have. So we just need to, limit the turnovers, do a better job in that area to not allow them so many transition downhill drives.
Hey, Coach, I had one quick question for you. What do you think of the job Layla Fula did tonight in terms of the pressure she was able to put on Maryland's defense? You just talked about them playing essentially with 5 guards. It seemed like she was in the paint quite a bit tonight.
Yeah, Layla is obviously an unbelievable player for us, and she has the ability to get downhill. She does a great job of that, and she was able to get to the rim a bunch of times tonight. And I saw she also had 4 assists on the night, so she was able to draw some attention and make some extra passes, and also 7 rebounds. That might be close to her career high, and an area where I've really been challenging her. So she's only a sophomore, and she does so much for us. She had the job of defending Sellers tonight too, and I thought she really did a great job against her and forced a bunch of turnovers from her. So I thought Layla really did a nice job tonight.
We talked about those early minutes and how important they were. Emily Kaiser had a slow start in those minutes. How important was she to your offensive game plan tonight, and how hard was it once they really limited her early on?
Yeah, we talked about that. That's why we switched our lineup at half, because we didn't feel like we were getting her enough touches, and we wanted to get her inside a little bit more. She only had 3 shots at half, but she only finished with 7 on the game. So she's obviously a key to our offense, so we were trying to get her more involved. But I thought Maryland did a really good job of fronting her and kind of doubling her and showing to her, and we're able to take away her touches.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.